what's up and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you my top 5 most loved and most used eyeshadow palettes of 2021, so of the entire year. This video is part of my yearly beauty favorites series, and if you are new here and you've not seen any of the other videos in the series, basically I break up all of my most loved and most used products into categories so that you can pick and choose which ones you want to watch and which ones you don't. So in today's video, we are doing eyeshadow palettes. And the 5 palettes that I have here in front of me are just the absolute best, in my opinion. They're the ones that I use the most throughout the year. They're the ones that I found to be the most, pigmented, the easiest to blend, the most universal, the ones that were the easiest to create the most looks out of, the ones that were worth the money, the ones that had the most options, basically. I have 5 palettes here in front of me, and I do also have a mixture of higher end and drugstore, so there should be something in here for everybody. So if you are an eyeshadow lover or a makeup lover and you are wanting to know, in my opinion, the best eyeshadow palettes of the year, then please keep on watching. Now for drugstore palettes this year, I do have 2 options, and I also have a couple of colorways to show you in these options. Typically with drugstore palettes, they usually, they'll do a palette and they'll do a formulation, and then it'll come in lots of different colorways, and that is the case with these ones. And first up, one of my most loved and most used little drugstore palettes of the year are these little color icons by Wet n Wild. I absolutely loved these. I feel like for a really, really long time, we've been obsessed with huge color palettes, which sometimes if they're not designed that well, it can just feel completely overwhelming, especially if you are a beginner. Like if you're looking at like 40 different eyeshadow colors and you're like, I don't know what shades go in the crease. I don't know what's a transition color. I don't know, which shades to pair together kind of a thing. It can get very, very overwhelming. And that is why I absolutely loved these little Wet n Wild ones. Now, not only did I love that they come in these little gorgeous 4 like shade matching palettes, but the pigmentation and the quality of the formulas, oh my God, amazing. This one here I particularly loved. This is Stop Ruffling My Feathers. Honestly, just so beautiful and pigmented, and the colors, they just all blend and pair together so incredibly well. Very, very easy to create a look out of, and there's like options for everyone. Like I use this one so much during the day for like a really natural kind of daytime smoky eye, and then you've got these darker ones for evening. This one is lights out and it's got like, metallic grays and sparkly blacks, and there's just, trust me, there are so many of these. And if you are after like a really easy option, you're after something that's just like a no-brainer that you don't have to think about, I really, really do recommend these. They're affordable, pigmentation's great, the quality's great, they blend really, really well. Just really, really good quality product. Next up for drugstore, and I fell head over heels in love with these this year. And I have spoken about them in quite a few videos, but the NYX Ultimate Palettes. Again, this is a product that comes in so many different colors. So this one here is the Ultimate Utopia. I do also have the Ultimate, this is the Festival one, I think, yes. So Festival here, lots of bright colors, lots of playful pinks and purples and shimmers and golds, but then there's also really beautiful neutral warm browns in here. So this one actually is fantastic for both neutral and like quite out there looks. And then this one here, the Utopia, beautiful cool tone version. Just all the shadows in these are super blendable. They're super pigmented. They're super creamy. The shimmers aren't like ridiculous, like in your face, like pressed glitters. They're more like sort of satin shimmers, but they're just really beautiful. Really, really great payoff. And obviously being drugstore, like I think it's a great option at the drugstore. You can do so many looks with these, daytime looks, nighttime looks. Like I'll swatch this one here for you. Like look at this. There's a lot of payoff with these palettes. So some greens, we've got like a beautiful bronze. Oh my God, this one's got like a eggplant purple. Like look at these. They're so incredible. They're so pigmented and so many options in these as well. Definitely, like I found myself reaching for and using these so much in the last 12 months. NYX have done a really, really good job. All right, moving into higher end palettes, the most loved and most used neutral everyday eyeshadow palette for me this year was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Primrose palette. Now, firstly, the packaging of this is gorgeous. Don't mind mine. I have used this so much. It is covered in stains. This is actually eyebrow henna tattoo, so I cannot get it off, but it does come in this beautiful pink like pressed kind of a cardboard. It's got rose gold. It's a really, really pretty looking palette. Now, originally when I saw pictures of this palette online, I was like, I don't know. It looks wishy-washy. It looks quite boring. It looks like it's going to be the same as every other eyeshadow palette that I've got. I'm not really sure if I'm going to use it that much. I already have a million neutral palettes. Like, I went through that whole process, and then I got it and I saw it and I opened it up in person. I was like, oh, that is beautiful. This has just got beautiful neutrals in it. It's got like a very pinky warm tone, sort of a theme through it. These two shades down here are blushes and you can use them as blushes, but I use them on my eyes all the time. Like, they're beautiful as both blushes and as eyeshadows. I just honestly love this, and super creamy, like intensely buttery, intensely pigmented, very, very easy to work with. Like, there's just no way that you're going to be disappointed with the pigmentation and the quality of the shadows in this palette. Like, honestly, I would get into my makeup room every morning. I would, start doing my makeup. I would open up my drawer of eyeshadow palettes, and I kept grabbing this. I just kept grabbing this. Like, I felt really comfortable using it. I felt really drawn to it. I found that it was very easy to apply, very easy to blend. It didn't get like patchy or chalky. I don't find that the shadows like fade during the day when I'm wearing it. I just use this over and over and over again. And if I'm reaching for an eyeshadow palette like literally every single day like this, it's got to be good. There's got to be a reason for that. I know a lot of people were on the fence about this because obviously we've seen neutral palettes done over and over and over, but I love this. It's beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. The colors are beautiful. The formula is beautiful. I really, really recommend it. And then funnily enough, another palette that I actually found myself head over heels obsessed with and using again and again and again this year, also from Anastasia Beverly Hills, was the Norvina Volume 5. Now this again, like, I actually have all of the other Norvina eyeshadow palettes that have come out. They do these big palettes and they're always filled with like really intense, colorful, like amazing eyeshadows. There's always a mixture of pressed glitters, mattes and shimmers. And like, I've got the other ones, but honestly, like, that's how I feel about them. I don't reach for them. I don't find myself drawn to them. I don't find myself using them. Yeah, then number 5 came out. I have used this palette so much. This is essentially a purple. I mean, it's not all purple, but when you open it and look at it, it looks like a purple eyeshadow. But if you were to cover, like, say for example, like these purples in the center, really what you've got is a neutral eyeshadow palette. You can use this for, soft daytime, barely there makeup looks. You can create really, really dramatic smoky eye looks with this one. The pressed glitter in this is one of the most sensational pressed glitters ever. There is so much pigmentation in this palette, almost to the point of it being kind of like aggressive. Like, you dip your brush in and you're like, damn, like so much comes off. But at the same time, even though there is so much color and there is so much pigmentation, they're a dream to work with. They're so creamy, they're so blendable. The pigmentation kind of doesn't overstep the ease of use, if that makes sense. Like, I'm obsessed with this palette, you guys. And every time I open it, I still get that same like almost butterflies. It is so beautiful in real life. And like I said, we have incredible, beautiful, shimmery. I mean, look at that. Can you see that there? Like, next level, beautiful, shimmery purples. We have really, really deep. And the mattes in this are so buttery, like intensely, intensely buttery. It almost is kind of unexplainable until you experience it in person, which doesn't really help you guys for decision making. Like, if you could reach through the screen right now and touch it, I'd be like, stick your finger in this. The pressed glitter, like I said, oh my God, it's like this amazing, it's like a warm tone, but then it's got all these like really, really beautiful rainbow colors through it. Like, hopefully you can see some of these swatches. They're just seriously next level. Every time I use this palette, every time I open it, I am like, you are amazing. You are my favorite. Now, obviously, if you hate purple, yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 purple eyeshadows in this palette, but the rest are neutrals. So it really is, it's very versatile at the same time. But if you hate purple, then obviously I wouldn't be investing in it. Like, the entire thing is purple. I was blown away, shocked by how much I loved and used this. Like, I didn't expect it, especially because I don't really use the other ones. Like, I'm just sort of like, eh. But this, they did so well on this. I love it. All right, let's clean up the mess that I have made. And the last palette that I have to show you is from Pat McGrath. And it's funny because last year she came out with a holiday eyeshadow palette. It made it into my top 5 eyeshadow palettes of the year as well. And this year, exactly the same thing happened. Like, they bring out the holiday palette and then I just use it every single day for the next 12 months. Until the next one comes out. They are phenomenal. Now, this one this year, they always have really like intricate kind of names. The Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette. That is what this one is called. It's got really, really quite intricate packaging. It's really pretty. It's like red and gold and diamonds, and it's, you know, really, really pretty to look at. And honestly, when I first opened this palette, I was like, oh, the color scheme's very, very interesting. It actually kind of reminds me, Kathleen Lights did a collaboration with Colourpop, I want to say 4 years ago. I think it was their first little mini eyeshadow palette that they did. I was obsessed with that. It was basically warm tone browns and like really gorgeous teals. This is like the Pat McGrath supersized version of that palette. Now that palette I literally used every single day, seemingly for what felt like my entire life. Like I just loved it and was obsessed with it. I have had the same reaction to this Pat McGrath one. It is sensational. So this has got an amazing, I mean, other than the fact that the packaging is incredible, it's like a whole experience just looking at and feeling this palette. It's so, so beautiful. It is obviously very expensive. I will say that. This is my most expensive eyeshadow palette that I am showing you. And like, honestly, when I opened it the first time, I was like, whoa, color story. Where are we? What are we doing? There's a lot going on here. But you guys, this is actually incredibly easy to use. One way to look at it, if you're looking at a way to sort of use this without feeling overwhelmed, each of the 3 like sections of eyeshadows, they all go together. Like say, for example, this one, this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one. Like that repeats itself through the entire palette. You've got mattes and shimmers in this, and you also have very, very wearable neutral kinds of colors alongside these amazing intense pops of color as well. You've got warms, you've got cools, you've got shimmers, you've got mattes. Like this palette literally has everything, and some of the colors in this, you guys, are just insane. Like this is the most amazing, beautiful gunmetal gray with like this blue shift through it. And like, believe me when I tell you, you hardly touch these shadows and it is full pigmentation. They're so buttery, they're so luxurious. Look at this intense teal color. Like, I literally get like palpitations looking at this. It is stunning. You've got some more pared down shimmers as well, like this really, really beautiful shimmery kind of a brown. Look at those swatches. Can you even deal? They are like liquid metal. They are so intensely pigmented, but at the same time, incredibly easy to work with. Like I find the mattes in this to be really buttery, really easy to blend. And I have done like eyeshadow looks where I've just, say for example, only used this medium matte brown, like this warm tone brown. I will wash that all over the lid, pop some mascara on, and I'm good to go. Or you can take it to the next level. You can really take it there. You can go there and you can just create the most dramatic smoky eyes. I love this. I feel like I probably sound like the biggest fangirl of this palette, and I honestly am. It's amazing. The entire experience is amazing. I think it is worth absolutely every cent. None of the shadows in this palette disappoint me. None of them whatsoever. They're incredible. Easily one of the top 5 eyeshadow palettes for the year. I feel like 2021 wasn't really the year of the eyeshadow palette. Obviously, you know, with the pandemic, with everything that's been happening in the world, not many of us were really able to go out and sort of do, you know, really wild kind of makeup looks. But if you are wanting to, if you love color, but you also love neutral, the Pat McGrath palette, like even just now, I feel so inspired to cover my face in color. And if an eyeshadow palette, like if it's able to instill that feeling, if it's able to make you feel excited, if it really gives you that, then you know you got a winner. But there you go, guys. Those were my top 5 most loved and most used eyeshadow palettes for 2021. I honestly love all of them, and the drugstore options are incredible. Like if you are looking for something really affordable and you're a beginner and looking for something quick and easy, they're amazing options. You've got neutrals, the Anastasia, the Norvina palette I did not expect to be so obsessed with, and the Pat McGrath one is just the most amazing luxury palette ever. But let me know all of your thoughts. Have you tried any of these palettes? Did you love them? them? Did you hate them? And alternatively, what was your most used and most loved eyeshadow palette for the entire year? I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. So let me know down in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I love you guys heaps. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye.